Hello everyone, it's me, the boy Angel Hilda Projects speaking, and welcome back to another update video. Or, well, rather a yapping update video for summer of 2025. Yeah, so I know a lot of you may be wondering why in the actual heck I've been uploading videos per month and on some occasions going on small radio silence moments, but yet even still, I'm still posting stuff in my other socials. And also late for doing an update video like this. Why now in the middle of 2025? It's a long story. You see, for the past 5 months and counting, I've been very busy with myself. Not only focused on working on various different projects for this summer, which we'll talk about those once we get to it, but also because this year was important for me for many good reasons. I finally graduated from a media level career of sound and visuals. You know, that one career I mentioned in one of my previous videos. I graduated from my elementary music conservatory in the evenings, and I finally got my Spanish nationality. Oh, and I also began my 20s. And sure, some of you may be happy to hear this news, but for some who probably don't, why? Why are you telling us this? Isn't like private or something? Well, yes, but simply because there may be 1 or 2 people typing in the comments saying something like, "Where is chapter 5?
Are you guys working on it now?
Why are you not telling any updates?
We want chapter 5 now, gosh darn it!"
Like, okay, chill bro, chill, calm down, you don't need to rub it in, you know? But all that aside, let's focus on what all of you are hearing me to talk about. What projects will be coming for this summer? Or what will happen to chapter 5 and the miniseries in general? Or what changes will the channel have? These questions will be answered in each section of the video, so if you want to jump straight into the Hilda and the Sudrian section, or the channel changes section, etc., then go ahead. But I rather suggest you to keep watching the entirety of this video, so that you don't miss out on anything. Oh, and unless I don't spend another 37 minutes of yapping.
Holy damn.
Now with all that said and done, let's get into yapping mode, shall we? So first and foremost, I just want to say this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you all so much for the amount of support you all gave for chapter 4. This one was literally the big boy from our miniseries to make so far, and I actually never thought of doing something as big as an hour-long episode with all the amounts of changes and lack of decisions that I understandably could have done better with my own organization. But yet, somehow we pulled it off very well with this installment. And I actually really feel very happy with how the result came out. And I didn't even expect the amount of attention the video got when it premiered. That's insane, man. Thank you guys. No, seriously. Look at how many people watch this, dude. How is this even possible?
Who are you people?
Not only that, but the amount of people who helped us with this episode, putting all of their effort with their voice performances, art and animation talents, and in-game filming recordings, was both a huge help and a gift for both of us. But I think the 2 people that absolutely knocked it out of the park and deserve more credit, in my opinion, are AJ and Marcy. And let me tell you that these 2 girls are genuinely the best friends and voice actresses someone could have and met in my life. I'm serious right now. Now, I'm not saying this in a harmful manner that the rest of the cast did.
Okay.
In a way, no. Everyone really did an amazing job with the voice impressions. Little Al VA, for instance, did a fantastic job with his James voice. I absolutely love it, really. But Jesus Christ, bro, these 2 girls pulled it way better than I thought the result was gonna be. The fact both of them put their best effort to sound not accurate, of course, but similar to Hilda, Joanna, and Alpha to an extent, and yet they truly understood what characters they were voicing. Absolute voice acting. Again, I'm serious right now. Not to mention that I even told them how long it took me to find these right voices for each of these characters, and to be honest, this was one of the best things and casting decisions that I've made while working on this episode. But of course, as you would have expected, it has its faults, but it's just a little tiny bitty wincy like this. For example, AJ. When I first met her and also started doing audition for Hilda and Joanna, she told me that she didn't know how to make a good British accent for Hilda, because keep in mind that she isn't a professional voice actress. Not just yet, so of course her accent isn't going to sound exactly like Hilda's or like Bella Ramsey in a way. This was before we first met, like I said before, and nowadays she's still trying to improve with her voice over time. And what about Marcy? First off, her Joanna impression, it's perfect. No complaints or questions about it. It's so freaking good. I love it. But her Alpha impression? I mean, it sounds fine by me, but I think it couldn't be better, if I'm honest. Marcy, if you're watching this, I am not complaining about your Alpha impression. All I'm saying is that your Alpha voice can improve for the better, and with more practice. Does it have to be accurate to its original VA? No. Just take all the time you need to practice with it every time, and I promise it'll sound 10 times better than before. Just trust me. Besides, at the end of the day, these are just simple nitpicks that don't bother a lot, and most of these can be fixed with good old pal Mixcraft. So it's not a huge loss. Keep up with the good work, you two. You are really the best. Another thing that I've seen with this episode is its criticism. I've seen a lot of your comments saying that this episode is the best out of the 4 chapters so far, to the point where it's perfection. Some say that it's really good, but at the same time it has its issues. The change of styles between Blue Train with Friends, sprites and trains, the missing scenes with the captions on, Edward being out of character, quote unquote, Hilda not being the main for this time, and of course the close ship swap crash scene and the Tobias and the half-pariah inspiration scene, quote-unquote, again. Oh boy, how do I explain this? I'll admit, yes, there were some small problems I had myself with this episode as well, don't get me wrong, and most of which were not my whole intention, although the close shapes one may be an exception, but even still, I tried my very, very best for this episode to have better quality than the last 3 episodes, even if the majority of scenes needed some color grading, blur, and all of that. And sorry if I sound more defensive here, but why do you guys think the Titmuth shit scene is a rip-off from this scene from Tobias and the Half-Pariah? Now, I know some of you don't take this one seriously because you may find it funny the difference between my scene and Tice's scene, but if, and I say if, I had this scene on a different tab and my notes with it while still writing the script for this scene for chapter 4 and call it a day, I will understandably shut up, take the L, and all the criticism you guys had with this episode. If that was the case, of course. Also, let's be honest here for a sec. This episode really needs some big updates, man. I just can't stand with this style nowadays. I've been talking about this with the Magic River Studios, and he also agreed that once we finish chapter 5, we will go back and remaster all the previous chapters, chapter 4 included. Mostly. Now with all that said, what's gonna happen for chapter 5 or the miniseries in general? So, before I would set up everything for chapter 4's release date and went on a good long break from it to focus more on my career, family, and other little music projects I had in mind in the future, a small thought struck me. And it got to the point where Magic Man and I wholeheartedly agreed that the miniseries had to go on another hiatus, and this time for a good reason. Do I even need to explain myself? Yeah, it's my career. Who would have guessed? I know I kinda sound like a broken record at this point, but as I mentioned before, I'm going through a professional career, emphasis on that. where things start to become more difficult to learn and practice, especially the practical part. And this distracts me a lot more for what's gonna be important for my future and as a professional in sound and visuals than the miniseries itself. And I feel like I don't even want that to happen as well, like it happened before with Chapter 4 a couple of years ago. If you know, you know. So until then, the miniseries will be put on a halt until further notice. How long exactly? At least for 2 or 3 years or so? Okay, listen. I know it's too long, but please, trust me. We'll work and plan on it better when we have the chance, time, and patience. So, do me a favor, put those forks down, okay? Thank you. Okay, I think I jabbed enough with this section. What else do we got?
What were you saying?
Yeah, about that. I'm just gonna give a quick summary of how these projects are going so far, so this won't take too long. More individual Thomas themes, mashups and remixes. As always, more of juicy music from me will come eventually. The Journey Beyond Sodo Iceberg video, still writing the script. The TCC and Thomas parodies and skits Iceberg videos. Neither of those haven't begun with the script as well. The Thomas Music History video. Also haven't begun writing the script and I still need ideas on how I would like that to be made. The iOS map videos. I ended up deciding it'll never likely happen, simply because it's not worth it for me to make. Roblox remakes. Last year I only made one remastered remake. Yeah, that was it. However, this year I plan on making 3 more remastered remake videos, and these will be the ones for consideration. If the last one I made received well, then I'm sure this next lot will do the same. The Flying Scotsman Collection video. I have intentions to get this one out somewhere this year, but I'm still planning on what I can do with it. Thomas comic dubs. I have a small comic dub that I made a little while ago and I may have a chance to upload it someday. Rank it videos. I finally have some ideas on what I want to rank about, but I won't spoil anything for now, so you just have to wait and see. Apps Music Dump. I finally decided to give this dump a full rebrand with a new name. Angels Audio Works. This is basically the same music collection I did for the past 3 years, but most of the themes are either remastered or replaced because I just feel like it. How many of these are gonna be made? Well, I was hoping I could make around 10 different music dumps, and as of now I already made the first 5 batches of new music dumps, so yeah, expect those to come around as well. This one also shouldn't take too long. The Trains of Hilda. The script is completely done, as well as voice recording, and as of now 60% of video editing is on the way, so be on the lookout when it gets announced. The Hilda Iceberg video. Heck no, there's already one out now. The Hilda Retrospective series. Still on the back burner and trying to think of what other ideas I can think of so that I don't copy the Unlucky Talks Thomas retrospective whatsoever. Hilda comic dubs. Just like I mentioned in the Thomas section, I have a few Hilda comic dubs that I plan to do, especially one which is now currently being worked on. Okay, now hear me out when I say this. Hilda fanfic readings. I know it sounds very cringe when I say this, but please, for the love of God, hear me out. From these past 3 months, while I was still organizing projects and studying at the same time, my interest got the better of me and I started to look into some Hilda fanfics that I can pick my eyes on. And let me tell you, when I say some, if not all Hilda fanfics I've read aren't that bad. Some of these are actually pretty darn good. Great even. Like, have you also heard about some of these My Little Pony fanfic readings that are all scattered around YouTube, and users who are still doing this trend, such as Scribble Productions, The Lost Narrator, and Wooten? If you don't, then good on you. If you do, then, well, I guess you're starting to see where I'm coming from. As of now, I've only had 2 or 3 different Hilda fanfics planned that I want to desperately make, but I may require to find more VAs other than the ones I have. But no worries for now, we just have to wait and see. Oh, and as for the Thomas and Hilda differences and similarities video, I barely began with the script. Yeah. And now we have the changes for what's gonna happen for this channel. There are mainly 4 different reasons for these changes, so let's see what we got. The first reason is a little minor, but it is still important. At the beginning of this year, I have been rubbing my mind back and forth with the idea of making actual Hilda content for this channel, and I think it's about time I should give the little blue-haired girl some spotlight. Rather than just her and her family appearing in Sudrian engines, popping up in a couple of mentions, you know. And no, that doesn't mean I'm losing interest on making Thomas videos. Despite Hilda being one of the faces on my channel, I think it's the right moment to make some videos talking about, I don't know, trivia, hot takes, why is this X episode my favorite from this season, etc. I still have some Thomas videos done and ready to be released, but even still, I really want to make Hilda content in the future, someday even. Now, for reason number 2, this one is about the time format for my future analysis videos. What do I mean by this? Around March or April of this year, I've been binging a lot of Magic Mush's videos, and because of how well his videos were made, with really good narration, editing, and spicing it more with some jokes here and there, it also got me inspiration to, well, make my own time format for some future analysis Thomas and Hilda videos. Depending on how long I take to make a video talking about my own opinions of both shows, iceberg videos, etc., it'll be around 20 to 30 minutes maximum. However, videos like my planned Thomas music history video, or the Hilda retrospective series, or any other iceberg videos I've discussed before, will likely take longer. About 45 minutes to 1 hour or so. Maybe 1 hour and a half? Nah, I think that's a bit too much. Now for reason number 3 is where things are starting to get a little more serious. This one is focused specifically on CapCut. And why? Because it sucks!
Moderation.
For those who still don't have any idea of what I'm talking about, which I think you should by now because it's important, CapCut has been recently getting a lot of controversy and backlash from its users for one big complaint they have, and that is the Pro features. Back in the early days of CapCut, it was known for being a free editing app / software where people, whether they have experience or not, use this app for Instagram and TikTok reels or even long-length videos for YouTube. However, that will change by 2023 when they began putting some, not all, but some little effects and transitions here and there as Pro features. It might be a little annoying, but in hindsight sounds fair. For at least some special effects. But wait, it gets worse from here, because as of in 2025, all effects, transitions, fade-ins and fade-outs are all marked as Pro features. Even transitions, when they were basic features, they have to be paid now. But wait, it gets even more worse. The video rendering is also a Pro feature, and it gives you a watermark after using free trials for free. How messed up are you, CapCut? I can keep going on and on about how much a liar like CapCut has been for the past, 2 years or so? But a few people already made their own versions of it talking about this topic, so you can check those out if you like. But what about me? What does this change affect my channel? In the past, I said in a community post saying that once chapter 4 of Sudrian Engines is done, I'll be moving from CapCut to a different video editor. But that wasn't for at least a few months later where I changed my mind saying that I was going to use CapCut for a little more. And while I was going through that process, I tested out a new video editor, DaVinci Resolve. This is not sponsored, by the way. So yeah, I tested out DaVinci and it's not too bad. Though I will say it quite lagged me a couple of times while I was testing it, but for the most part it's actually pretty good. And not much of a difference from CapCut, to be honest. And that leads us to today. And the big question is, will I be staying with CapCut for a little longer or move on with DaVinci? If I have to be sincerely honest, I'm staying with CapCut. I know it sounds very contradictory that I say I'll be staying more with CapCut, even after I said all of my ranting with it, but to be honest with you guys, I've always had a soft spot for CapCut since 2023 after my departure from using KineMaster. I was hesitant at first, but as time went by, I kept using it more and more until I found my footing with it. But all of that is thrown away to the trash bin thanks to money hunting corporations who just want easy fast cash. And look at how we ended up now. In short, yes, I'll be using CapCut for now. That is until if I have some saved money in the future for a new gaming PC. So, who knows. And lastly we have number 4. And unlike the CapCut one, I say this one for last because it involves more for myself, my family, real life and online friends. And that is the swearing. You see, at the beginning of this year, something came to me. It was something that kept rolling through my mind that I didn't know exactly what it was. But one day I sat down on my bed and I quickly came to the realization that I think I should stop swearing. I don't know how to explain this well, but for the past maybe 4 years or so, ever since I later began making daily, weekly videos for my channel back in 2021, I've been swearing most of the time, in some occasions, but I kinda just felt like it. I say most because the majority were remakes or music theme videos. However, because my family, specifically my mom, knows that I have a YouTube channel, she sometimes approaches to me and asks why am I swearing in some of my videos. And I always tell her every time that I'm not swearing just for the sake of attention or just because I feel like it or to look cool. But it's because of one rule on YouTube that I'm sure you already know which one I'm talking about. COPA. I don't think I need to explain myself with this rule since you guys already know about it, but because my mom doesn't, I'll explain it very quickly. Madre, si está viendo este video, por favor, mantén esos oídos y ojos bien abiertos esta vez. ¿Sí? Ok, entonces. In 2019, Google applied a new rule named COPA, which is allow me to pretend information and data for children under the age of 13. This affected YouTube so much to the point where it started to mark videos for kids sometimes out of nowhere, deactivate the comment section and likes, not allowing to play a video using a mini player, and the only way to get rid of these issues are either putting a warning or disclaimer at the beginning of the video, or saying words like, "Take it away, Pomni."
Oh my god.
Something like that. And the worst part is, they already got an app specifically for kids. And because of all of these shenanigans, many people from the Thomas community went their way to make this disclaimer saying, this video is not made for kids. It is made for older audiences who are affiliated with Thomas the Tank Engine, blah blah blah. P.S. Enjoy the freaking video. And yet, YouTube doesn't care. It is all controlled by bots nowadays. That's why I'm telling this to all of you. Again, I was not cursing just for the heck of it or pursuing everyone's attention or whatever reason. It was from my understanding, the only way to prevent my videos being mocked for kids. Because look at me right into my face and tell me that this isn't the face of someone who's been working so hard for the last 5 years on this platform, worried about his videos being flagged down for a side platform. Like, tell me. And as someone who's also part of the Christian community, which some would say that I'm being very, very contradictory at times to not say swear words in the name of the Lord, I always try my best to apologize to the one who created me, trying to not say those words and always trying to explain to my family why I say those said words. And despite my rant on everything I said now, I'm not going anywhere. I will continue making videos about my favorite franchises, I will continue to post my music, and I promise I will certainly continue to improve myself for the better. That is that. And, well, that's it, folks. Those were all the updates that I can give for this summer. Before we end though, I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is, I will sadly not be able to attend the Ultra Extravaganza 5 this year due to some not terrible, but some financial stuff that I have to help my family with. Truth be told, I had in mind visiting this year since I was doing alright with my studies, and not to mention I even talked to my mother about this, but sadly that wasn't the case. However, even if I won't be able to attend the event this year, and it's still not quite confirmed yet, what I will eventually visit is the United Kingdom. Now, we still have to do all the planning before we're ready, don't get me wrong, but even still, I cannot feel more excited to visit this country, since this has been one of my childhood dreams to visit this country. I really want to go there this summer, and you bet your butt that I'm sure we'll visit these lads, so we'll see. And as for the good news, on the other hand, the next video after this one is out in a couple of days later will be a 10-minute video of useless Hilda information. I originally began making this video around late March and it was completely finished in May. It was a fun video to make, and I'm hoping that I don't sound as robotic like I did with some previous videos. Sorry if I sound like that sometimes, it's not my intention. This video will hopefully be posted on the 27th of this month, a week later in this case. So make sure to be on the lookout to not miss it out. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is the summer of 2025 update video. If you like this video and would like to see more Thomas and Hilda content in the future, then make sure to give a like and subscribe, as it will help the channel very much. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one. Adios! Man, if I had a nickel for every time I make an update video that takes around 20 to 30 minutes long, I have 3 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened 3 times already.